Hello? Any chance?
Hey. I have you on AirPods, so we are good to go.
Excellent. Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Hey, Colin. I'm good. I am driving home from the first day of my second week back at work.
Yeah, okay, so you gotta fill me in on how work has been going for the last while here.
Yeah, it's been fine. It is much more normal than I was expecting it to feel, I have to admit. I thought it was going to feel like totally foreign.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of thinking about it, and I've been doing this, like going to work at Apple for 8 years, and I've been a mom for 6 months. So I think that 8 years of experience,
Yeah.
no matter how transformative the 6 months of have been, has been a little bit,
That's true. I gotta admit, honestly, whenever I go back to work after a period, of course, and I think you've been voicing this a bit. When you've been not working and then you have to go back to work, there's this bit of dread.
Yeah.
And then when you get back, it's usually fine. Honestly, I'm disappointed in myself every time it feels fine to go back to work.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
weird.
I feel like it should not feel fine to go back to it.
Agreed. People are like, oh my God, how are you holding up? And I'm like, weirdly fine. And I feel guilty about that.
Yeah. I'm not even, for me at least, it's not even a sense of oh, I should miss the thing I was doing. Because usually the thing I was doing was just, playing video games and farting around. For you, it was fostering the life of a human being, varying levels of importance. But it's just I feel like the notion that I can flip back into that mode so easily is just a sign that I'm conditioned in a way I don't want to be conditioned, and I hate that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's been good. I mean, really, I do think that being part-time, so I have something called gradual return to work where I work part-time for 4 weeks. I think if I had to jump into, essentially a 9-hour day right away, I would be doing much less good.
Yep.
So
what's the likelihood that you could stay part-time?
So thought about that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason that is not likely to happen, well, there's two. One is that the job role that I have is not a part-time job role. So I'd have to apply for an open position that doesn't exist right now, and do a different job, which is fine. I'm not necessarily against that, but I like the job that I do. So I don't know if that's really what I want to do.
Yeah.
The second reason I don't think I'm going to do that, at least for Apple, is that at least when you're full-time in my job role, there's some sense of normalcy with the schedule. It may not be the best schedule, but at least I'll usually have some say in it.
Yeah.
If you go part-time, the variability in the schedule is just torturous.
Yeah. That switching to a stable schedule upon leaving Apple was maybe one of the most eye-opening experiences of my life.
Yeah, because you started at Apple when you were really young. It was your first real job, right?
Yeah. Yes, it was. So I just, And sometimes I think about but a big part of the reason I left Apple was, one, health concerns, two, some really bad management at the place where I was working. And I'm just man, I'm at, if not for those two things, it'd be kind of cool to go back to Apple. It would, I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed what I was learning. And then I'm I did not enjoy clopening.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy working till 10 at night and then going in at 7 in the morning. Once your schedule is stable, it feels like you have twice as much free time. Just because you always know exactly what you're doing. Are your part-time shifts right now stable, or are you all over the place?
I'm a little bit all over the place, but I'm working essentially 4 5-hour days a week right now.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's a little bit all over the place, it feels very manageable.
Good. Yeah. I've always thought, and now I'm glad that I can ask you about this, I've always thought that a stable 4 hours a day, 5 days a week job would not wipe me out. And that would be, if I exist in a world where I have to maintain a regular job, then that is what I would like to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, holy shit, there's a really big accident. It looks like it's under control, but a tractor trailer just went bingle bamble right into the divide. But good news, everything is fine.
Wow.
Did not happen in front of me. Definitely is already taken care of by the time I got here.
Yeah, there was a lot of ambiguity there.
Yeah.
Particularly
Would
the
not
fact
have
that
been so calm.
particularly the fact that I forgot for a second that you were in a car, and I'm thinking about what it's like to work in a mall, and you say, "Holy mackerel, there's a big accident there." Other images come to my mind.
Yes. No, I am driving home currently, which, by the way, I don't do this regularly. It is important to focus on driving and not talking to your friends necessarily. Recording a podcast.
This is a hands-free experience. You're
That
just
is
having
true.
a conversation. I am probably pushing the I/O on my 7-year-old computer to the limit with the amount of things I have routing audio right now on this computer.
Well, I appreciate you handling it for sure.
So the reason I have this tool is because so basically we've done this once before where you were driving.
Yes.
And it was a nightmare because I recorded my audio and our audio, but I didn't have you all by yourself, and it sucked so much to edit it together. I had to like choose moments where we talked over each other, like which audio to favor, and it was really hard. So I have a tool that just gives me a lot more control over audio routing on the computer. The only reason I have it is because I got 2 teeth pulled this month.
Hey.
So this is fun. Well, last month I was eating food and there was a big old crunch and it was my tooth, and it was not the tooth I thought it was. And then I went to the dentist and they're like, yeah, you need to get, but I just tried to live with it for a bit. And I was like, let me go to the dentist after COVID. And then it got worse. And I was like, I have to go. So I went to the dentist.
Teeth are not something you can fuck around with.
Nope, they sure aren't. And yet I keep doing it. So the dentist said, yeah, you need to get those out this week. So within the span of 4 days, I was told a different tooth broke than I thought and that I needed surgery. 4 days later, I got the surgery. Not nearly as bad as I was expecting, just because, like, I've had a root canal before, too. And people are like, root canals are the worst. And I was like, I don't know, it's fine. There was one bit where it hurt. Otherwise, it's fine. With this, I walk in, they knocked me out, and I walked out. And that's it. That was the whole bing, bang, boom, whole experience. It was fine. It took still a little discomfort. It's been about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
But it was really rough talking for the next couple of days. And the day after my surgery, we had to record something. So Dice Populi, we're launching a Patreon, which we've announced, and we're doing a bonus campaign, and we had to do our planning episode because Ryan had to tell us all about D&D stuff that we don't know about because he knows everything and I'm a pleb.
Right.
But we scheduled it before, again, the short notice tooth pull. So I wake up on Saturday morning. I definitely can't talk for an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to figure out what to do. And Ryan made the joke, you could just have text to speech, read it. And I was like, okay, how do I do this?
You joke, but.
You joke, but. So this Wednesday, if people pay for it, they're going to get a 1-hour episode of us discussing things where my voice is just Siri mispronouncing D&D terms.
Imagine a whole podcast where I sound like this.
I can't tell if that sounds really funny or very annoying.
It's Pat edited it, and I listened to the draft, and it's kind of funny, mostly just because I'm trying to crack jokes half the time, and Siri butchers the delivery every single time.
Makes sense.
And I think I'm going to be playing a Warforged in that campaign, which is like a robotic thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, guys, what if I just did this for my voice as the Warforged? And they shot that down immediately. They did not entertain that idea at all. But in order to make that work, I needed a thing to allow me to like route the audio of multiple places, to pull audio from an app, put it into a recording device, and not have it mess up like the Discord call.
Right.
So when you said we have to record tomorrow, I was very glad that I neglected my dental hygiene because I knew I wouldn't have to repeat that horrible editing experience.
So what you're saying is that you would rather get dental surgery than edit a podcast in the way you did that one time.
Okay, that is definitely what I just said, but I'm going to walk that back. Things went really badly for me, and there was a silver lining. That is, I think,
way more sense.
Yeah, that is the situation. If I had to, the only obnoxious thing about having to do that bad edit again would be that it has to be done like right after we're done recording.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's fine. I've been so fucking busy, and you have also been so fucking busy.
Yeah.
I don't like, you told me the other day or like 2 days ago, and I was like, can we record? And you were like, well, we've been training the nanny. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot that I missed.
Yeah, dude. A lot happened this past month, huh?
Yeah, it's a dense boy.
Eek, I don't like trucks. They're
Yeah.
good though. It's past me now. Yeah, I mean, I guess the long and the short. Oh, you know what? Okay, so we did do a couple teasers with each other via text message yesterday,
Yeah.
and so I will go through my story pretty quickly, and then I'll ask you about yours. Now, when I arrive home, I need to get going immediately because poor Charles is at home right now taking care of the baby, which is fine on its own, but he also happens to be on call Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh God.
And it has been the busiest call that he has ever experienced. He was getting, I'm not like kidding at all. I was with him in the living room yesterday. He was getting 3 to 4 pages at a time every half hour,
What
which is
the
like,
hell?
he usually gets like 3 or 4 in an entire 24-hour period. And he texted me this morning that apparently it's been even worse today. So like, you know, you talk about taking care of a baby at home as a full-time job. Like he is actually doing 2 full-time jobs right now.
Jesus, holy cow.
Yeah, when I get home, I'm bouncing.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But so the long and the short of it is, we hired a nanny. Her name is Maria. She's amazing. We really love her. She's definitely the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 kind of ways of hiring nannies. There's like the traditional method and the non-traditional method. The traditional method is where you hire a nanny service where like they do background checks and like vet all of the nannies. You pay them money to like match you essentially. And then once you hire someone, you basically pay them commission.
It's Nanny Tinder.
It's Nanny Tinder, except much more expensive. Oh, geez. The other non-traditional way is you pay like a small amount or nothing, depending on what it is, to create essentially an actual nanny Tinder, which is like a profile online, and then you look at matches and you can chat through there. So that's actual nanny Tinder. The other one is a nanny escort service, maybe. I don't know. That feels weird.
That one is called Only Nans. That's what that one is.
So we were trying a non-traditional nanny service first because it's much less expensive, and we figured we may as well put in some effort into that and see if we can save ourselves a little bit of money. But I was really not getting a whole lot of matches and like a lot of people that I was interested in. I did a bunch of phone interviews and like, God, some of them were just so bad. Like this one girl was late to 3 phone interviews. And I was like, if you can't fucking pick up a phone on time, I do not believe that you can make it to my house on time.
Yeah. I mean, like that's kind of wild to me because I may have mentioned this on the podcast before, but like, when I got a call to do work at an animation studio, I was not the one that messed up the time. I was ready by my phone. It was just a time zone mix-up.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting by my phone. I'm in the middle of a Destiny strike. You don't put that off. You know what you do? You mute your TV, you do the interview while playing the arms dealer, and you get the job. Come on, people.
Yes. Be like Colin, guys. And girls.
Don't ever. It's bad.
Folks in general, I don't know. I'm actually trying to like this is not a joke. I'm actually trying to like stop saying guys as a form of just people,
I've been thinking about that. Guys and dudes are big go-tos for me. So folks,
I say guys a lot, so I'm trying not to. Folks, peeps. I'm better at it when I'm not tired.
Yeah. We should just, I mean, a lot of the big problems with the dialogue around the gender binary is just the fact that our language did not evolve to accommodate a non-binary gender system. It's not that the ideas are totally out there. It's just that our lexicon isn't built for that yet. And you can't just design language. Whenever people try, they fail. Except like Korean. I think I was told the king like ordered them to build that language to make it easier than Chinese. I don't know. But like, so anyway, maybe we should just start making up non-binary terms.
Maybe. Although just like trying to, it's hard. It's hard to retrain your brain to do that. And I'm putting in the effort, but it is difficult. Anyway, I want to get to my story and I want to ask you about yours before I get home.
Okay, yes.
We only have like 20 minutes.
Okay.
If that, I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm already on the phone for 15 minutes. We have less time. Time!
This is going to be a quick one, folks.
So, all right. So we were going non-traditional. Kind of bad experience. Didn't really find anybody that we really liked. I had one person that I wanted to meet in person. So Charles had worked with somebody that hired someone through a nanny service. And I was like, you know what? Like we have a couple weeks where we need to I need to have somebody hired in the next like 2.5 weeks. So we paid her some money. She got me in touch with this person who seemed really great, like great resume, has been working as a nanny for a really long time, for like 20 years. I was like, cool, meet her in person. So we met these 2 people in person. Both of them were really nice. But we definitely kind of had a slightly like better gut feeling about one of them. But on paper, the other one was better. So we were like, all right, like we're going to go with this one from the nanny service. Like it seems like she's going to be, more punctual and maybe a little bit more flexible with her time. Like this seems like the right choice. So we had this weird back and forth with the nanny service because she was like really aggressively trying to get us to make a decision. And we were like, we're putting our child's care in someone's hand in the middle of a global pandemic. Like, can you give me more than 12 hours to like think about this?
12 hours. That is aggressive. Holy fuck.
No, as soon as because she knew what time the interview was set up, like as soon as it should have been done, she was like, how'd it go? Did you like her? Are you going to check the references? I was like, oh my God. But anyway, it was fine. So then we were like, all right, we're going with her. She was like, great. And then the most bizarre 12 hours happened where she was trying to get her to fill out the background check. And like they were talking, but I wasn't involved. But then they had questions. So like I was trying to talk to both of them. Like it was very weird. And then the next morning after we made the decision and the nanny finder was like, fill out the background check with this email, the nanny called me like super upset and was like, this woman is horrible. She's accusing me of having something to hide. Like I was at work and so I wasn't filling it out. And like, she's like, I can't work with her. And she was like, I don't even know if I got the job, but like, I can't work with her. And I was like, okay, like we were offering you in the job. Like, is there anything like,
wow,
I don't know this woman. I've worked with her for less than a week. Like, is there anything that we could work out on the side? Like, I don't really know what the situation. She's like, I don't know. I have to talk to my husband. And I was like, okay, like weird. And then as soon as we got off the phone, the nanny finder called and was like, she's refusing to do the background check, like just straight up. Like I've never had anyone refuse it before. Like the only people that I can imagine, like there must be something wrong if she's like refusing to give it, which is obviously not the story that she told me. She was like, I was working and now she's being really aggressive.
Yeah, what the?
And I was like, okay, like this is a whole thing. So apparently she like had some issue with her social security number. And so she like doesn't give it out anymore, which is like fine. And I get it. But like,
yeah,
I don't know. So we kind of slowly backed up from all that. We were like, okay, no, thanks though. And
that's
we hired,
so weird.
Yeah. And we hired the woman from Care, the non-traditional care.com, whatever. And she's amazing. Like, I'm so glad she's the one we ended up with. She's so sweet and like really nurturing and like Eleanor loves her. Like it's just really great. And it's so comforting to know, like going back to work and knowing that she was in such good hands, like
Aww.
really, really made a difference. So
that's great.
Yeah. So that's the whole story about the nanny.
How does it feel being someone's boss?
Very strange. It feels real weird. I know I had to write up a whole contract about like sick time and like paid vacation days and stuff. It was very weird.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's weird. I mean, now that like Dice Populi is potentially going to start pulling in some money to be self-sustaining, I have to like kind of go through establish an LLC, get these thing in. And like we've agreed where all the money is going at first, but once there ends up being money for us, I'm not looking forward to figuring that part out.
Yeah, you got to figure out like a whole percentage thing, right?
Yeah, especially because I do like inarguably more labor on this stuff than the others. So it's just, I'm going to come out looking, the perceptions of impropriety abound.
Yeah.
I heard your car beep. Are you heading up to your home?
I am not. That was I have a relatively new car that likes to warn me if people are slowing down in front of me.
Oh, yeah, that beep.
So somebody was turning and like they were out of my way, but my car was like, it's still in the way. And I was like, car, it's fine.
Yeah, I've always noticed that that side mirror zone where it's checking for people is always like a little more sensitive than it should be. Like mine has a little yellow light on the mirror to tell me if someone's there, and the yellow light is on, and I'm just like frantically looking around my car, and there's no one there. I'm like, what am I gonna hit? Yeah. What am I missing? Oh, it's so wild.
So you teased that you hadn't told me the biggest stuff. I hope that it wasn't just the teeth.
The tooth.
You did tell me about that.
Okay,
Also,
the tooth was definitely the biggest thing that happened to me this past month. Less big. Tried to do a couple raids in Destiny. Got one done. Yesterday had some frustrating bits where the person complaining that it was too hard was also the person that had to leave because we took too long.
Ooh.
So that sucked. But if we're talking about actual news, there was something else that happened, which was... just bear with me. I'm not trying to be a downer on this one. We noticed so Poop is like Poop the cat is somewhere between 12 and 16. I don't know. I have not been able to find out. But she's a little older for a cat, and she's had some tumors for a while, and we saw some stuff around her butt, and it was like panic mode, clock out of work, get her to an emergency vet, assuming the worst. And they were just like, it was just her anal glands. We drained the other one, gave her an antibiotic. You're good to go.
Yay! Yay!
So it was just a very spooky thing. And it made us realize something. So I've had Poop for, 26 years. But I had the cat Poop for, 6 years now?
It's got to be longer than that.
No, it's 6. Because we got her Thanksgiving of 2020. It was my dad's girlfriend's cat, and then they broke up, and then I got the cat. It was a surprise, too, on Thanksgiving. He was like, surprise, here's a cat. I was like, okay. I mean, I'll never say no to that, but...
Right.
But at that point, I still had another cat. I was still living at home. And then my cat died, so it was just Poop and the 2 dogs. And then I moved here, and then it was just Poop. And for 1 month, this, like, calm, lazy cat was running up walls and doing flips and shit, going absolutely insane by herself. So then I adopted Odo a month later. And they never really got along. And so
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it was just like 4 or 5 years, 5 years of 4 years of just like gonna, I guess, hope that they don't murder each other. Odo actually has a scar on his nose from when Poop hit him as a kitten, and they still fight. And he's bigger than her now, so it's fun to watch. So we've always known that Poop is not in great health, and that she's gonna kick it probably very suddenly. That's what happened with Gizmo, my cat, before Poop. And so we adopted Jayla a year and a half ago with the intention of having that be the transition cat.
Right.
Get Odo a friend, get Odo a partner, so that when Poop does die, we have a cat. We don't want Poop going buck wild we don't want Odo going crazy like Poop did.
Right.
And then when we were confronted with the possibility of Poop dying this week, when we were sitting there thinking, like, I'm about to go take this cat to be put to sleep, like, I thought that, and it was very sad. And both Rebecca and I kind of realized we got Jayla to transition away from Poop, but now she's been alive so long, we're just used to having 3 cats. So when Poop does die, I think it might actually be on the table that we might just get another cat. Totally defeating the purpose of the whole enterprise. So it was an emotional day. It was spooky, and it made me realize that she's totally fine now. She still walks like an idiot, so clearly it wasn't the anal glands that did that. She just walks like an idiot. But she's great now. She's super happy and snuggly and sweet. She was all over us in the car. She was screaming on the way down, and on the way back up, she was just like, "All right, I'll take the 30-minute guaranteed snuggle."
Aww.
So it was started off really scary, went really great, and I'm questioning all of my convictions.
Well, I feel like we had a similar situation when we had the guinea pigs, where I had pants and Poop.
You and I need to pick words that aren't easily confusable.
To be fair, his name was Franklin, but
Poop's name was Pepin. I was just never told that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was not told that, and when I was told it, I rejected it.
Yep, makes sense. Franklin was also Pants. He just was. So we had Pants for a long time, and he was by himself, and it was like mostly okay because I got him when I was in college, and so my schedule was like go to a couple hours of class, and then I spent like most of my time playing with the guinea pig because what 21-year-old doesn't. But then, when I started working more, we felt really bad that he was by himself a lot. So we got Lulu, which then ironically, because Lulu is a girl and Pants is a boy, and we didn't want to get either of them fixed because it's more dangerous surgery for small animals.
Yep.
They did not live in the same cage. But when Franklin died, when Pants died, I really wanted to get Lulu a friend, and I almost did a couple times. And then Lulu passed away too, and Charles basically said we made the decision. He was like, we're gonna have never-ending guinea pigs if we just do this. And I was like, I don't see the problem with this.
Yes, right? Yes, exactly. See, that betrays part of his thought process where he views guinea pigs as a temporary commitment. Yeah. And that's just, was he sitting there running out the clock on okay, eventually there will be no guinea pigs?
I guess. I don't know.
Laura, you have no guinea pigs. He won.
I know. It's very sad.
He won. You got to fight back.
I know. I almost went out and got one at the beginning of quarantine because I was, quarantined and missed having fuzzy, fluffy friends. Mm-hmm. But I was also very pregnant, and Charles was like, we're going to have a baby soon. You sure? You can't just wait.
That's why he did that. Yeah. So, okay. So, he fucking knew that if you were pregnant, you could get a guinea pig. So he brought his A game early in the marriage to sabotage all future guinea pig plans. Laura, your husband hates guinea pigs.
Well, we've already discussed that when Eleanor is a little bit older, she's going to get a guinea pig as a pet. So, like, we're going to get back into the guinea pig game. Don't worry.
Okay. Man, my stories were a lot more fun than that. My Charles stories. My manic Charles hates guinea pigs crusade. That could have been fun.
He enjoyed the guinea pigs. He did not love the guinea pigs like I did.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine who has a corgi and is sitting for another corgi right now and was trying to call me with all these pictures of dogs and like wondering why I wasn't super into it. And I'm just like, hey man, I appreciate dogs, but like
I'm no cat.
It shouldn't be a binary. And it's not just dogs. There are very few animals that I can look at and, like, no matter what I'm doing, I want to just look at it. That porcupine in the tree at the zoo, that's one of them. That's definitely one of them. I didn't know porcupines could climb trees. That was over a year ago, and I'm still surprised when I think about it.
I do have some bad news, though. We are approaching my driveway. I know. It went so fast.
Beans.
Maybe we can do. I know.
It did. Yeah, we've been talking for a whole 30 minutes.
The black lung.
Oh, God.
I don't know how you feel about this. We can discuss on or offline, should we choose. But if recording this doesn't go too horribly, maybe we schedule a little like bonus episode where we just have another quick conversation in the car, just because, this felt too fast. I have so many more questions about how you're doing and how your teeth are.
Yeah, that's fair. The worst experiences with my teeth, the two of them, were biting too much Taco Bell at once and having to tell everyone how to run the raid in Destiny for 6 hours. Otherwise, I've been fine. But yeah, I'll let you know how this goes later tonight, and we'll see what happens.
That sounds good.
All right, Laura, have fun taking care of the baby and making your great guinea pig plans.
They will involve at least 3 guinea pigs.
Yes. All right, Laura, you have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
How You Doing is a Common Geeking Program production. Starring Laura Becker and Colin Ketchen, with editing and original music by Colin. You can see and hear more at the website PodFriend.pizza, or follow HousePod on Instagram for a real-life look at their friendship. If you enjoy the show, spread the love. Tell a friend, share your favorite episodes, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Colin and Laura will talk to you again on the first Monday of every month. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Come and meet